welcome to our channel. We are Meet the Simmons. This is our very, very first video we're dropping. So,
I'm feeling hype.
You feel like
I'm trying to contain it. I'm feeling really hype.
Yes, this is our first real foray into these YouTube streets. So we are excited. We have been married for 21 beautiful years, right? And
it went by fast.
It went by really fast. It really did. Yeah. And a lot of people, they see us out, they see us in public, you know, we're very affectionate. I love this woman more than anything. And what's the one thing that do young ladies always run up to you and ask you about?
Yes. Oh my gosh, I want that. How did you do that? How did you meet him? How did you know that you met the one? How? Like all
these,
of that.
Yeah, all that.
Yeah.
So we decided our first video would be, so you want to get married? We're going to give you guys, so we're going to start the ladies. It's always ladies first here. Ladies first, because I am a gentleman.
Thank you. You're a very gentleman.
Yes, so we're going to do ladies first tonight, and then our next video will be the men. So we're going to give you 10 valid things you need to think about if you want to come over here and join what I call the left hand club. For you men, it's called left hand club. Yes, because marriage is a beast. It's a beast. Now we have worked at our marriage for 21 years. We have 3 beautiful kids. I love her. She loves me.
Absolutely.
But we don't always like each other.
Nope.
There's times where things happen, and you know, there's some heated discussions. And my boy Darius always says heated fellowship. It happens. It happens over here. So I think that we would be doing people a disservice to come over here and be like, oh, our marriage is beautiful, it's perfect, and all those things like that if we didn't discuss the good, the bad, the ugly. So today, we're going to talk about, so you want to get married, huh?
For the ladies.
For the ladies. And look, I'll say things like sweetheart and things like that. I don't mean no disrespect. This is how I refer to young women, because I see younger women like my daughter. And so I call her sweetheart and all those things like that. So if that offends you, trust me, it ain't no shade. This is my one and only. I have nothing to gain or lose by telling you the truth. And that's what we're here to do. Remember, we talked about in our introduction video, we talked about we want to bring balance to the conversation. Yes. On this platform, there's so much back and forth and this and that about, you know, men do this, women do that, and blah, blah, blah. There's so much going on. But we really just want to bring balance to that conversation. So today, let's get into it. You ready? Point number 1. If you really want to be married, this is for ladies, right? Ladies, if you want to be married, you need to understand what your motives are for marriage. Explain that to us, sweetheart.
I got this, yes. Ladies, lean in.
Oh,
come in a little closer. A little. Seriously, I want you to really think about, if you're wanting to be married, what are your motives? Are you wanting to really build your life with another individual, flawed? You're going to have your ups, you're going to have your downs, you're going to have your good times, you're going to have your not so good times. But are you really wanting to grow through life's journey with another person that at the end of the day, you can be sitting on your porch, rocking with no teeth in your mouth, but you got your baby
Toothless.
Right there with you. Toothless. That's all right. But the wind going through the gums, it don't matter.
TOOF. Toothless.
But you're sitting there enjoying life with this person, going down the road together, as you always say.
Yeah.
Or are you in love with the idea of being somebody's wifey? Are you in love with the idea of being a wife?
The wedding. That's a big
one.
Are
you fantasizing and dreaming, daydreaming, salivating about the dress and the makeup and the hair, and everyone's going to be putting you on IG and, oh man, look how fabulous everything was. And then after all of that is over, you are stuck with this individual. Like, I don't even know if I like him. So I really, 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 really want you to check your motives. Why are you wanting to get married? Is it something that you think is cool? Is it something that you're just in love with the idea of? Or are you truly wanting to grow and build with someone else? That is the concept that we want you to get across here.
And I think that's enough said on that topic. I really, as a man, I don't even try. I understand female nature, but I don't try to get inside the psyche of women too much, because I'm a man. I'm gonna look at things from a man's standpoint. But I think my wife hit the nail on the head on that one.
Can I even say something? I always get leery when a woman says, "I've already bought my wedding dress, but I haven't even met the man yet."
Or this one. This is the one that gets me.
Which one?
This year I'm meeting my husband. Like it was January 1st, like everybody. This
The
year,
resolution
the resolution. This
almost
year, I don't
thing?
know who he is, but I'm meeting my husband. I think you're setting yourself up for failure on that one, sweetheart. I really do believe that.
Yeah.
People, this whole manifesting thing, we'll talk about that down the road. That's a whole different subject.
Yeah.
But I really manifesting a husband. He's already here. How you going anyway? I don't subscribe to that. I think that there's a process that a person needs to go through before they're even ready to meet their soon to be husband or wife.
And I also think it's a bad look, and this is also another red flag. If you've planned, let's say you're one of those women that you've planned your wedding, you've bought your wedding dress, you literally have planned the wedding, and then you happen to meet your future husband. He has no input. His personality, his family, none of that is able to be brought into the actual wedding ceremony, because it's not just about you. It's about the two of you. It is a celebration of the both of you. And if you're one-sided about it, then I don't know. That just kind of, it's a red flag.
I think so.
Yeah.
So number 2. Now this one I have a lot of input about as a man.
Go ahead.
So I'm gonna take this one. Ladies, if you do not understand male sexuality and the male sex drive, you are not ready to be married. You need to understand we're built different. Like my son always says, I'm built different, Dad. But we are built different than you. Male sexuality is a beast. We want sex all the time. We do. If I could, I'm a little older now. I'm in my 40s now. I slowed down a little bit. But if I could, if I could be 2 or 3 times a day at the time,
That's
and it used to be 5. So
okay.
that's
So
a slight decline, man. Your boy ain't getting no younger around here,
Yeah. Okay. Keep going.
But I don't think that women truly understand the male sex drive and male sexuality. See, this is what gets a lot of men frustrated, because a woman will demand monogamy. I want a husband. I want him to be faithful. I want him to make a certain amount of money. I want him to look a certain type of way. I want this. I want that. And then the worst thing a man could do in the world, you see it all the time, is to cheat. That's the worst thing a man could do, right? Is cheat on his wife. And I do agree. I think that's horrible to do.
Yeah.
But there are men walking around here every day in sexless marriages.
Yeah. It's a real thing.
A statistic for you. 20% of American marriages are sexless. That means that they have sex less than once a month. Less than once a month. And you see women bragging about that. So once a woman has met her biological imperative, by that I mean have a child, generally her sex drive will drop off a little bit. We expect it as men, but we don't expect the rivers to run dry. Now, in 20-something years of marriage, we've had ups and downs in this area.
Yeah,
we have really struggled in this area. My wife had 3 of my dinosaur kids. I'm a huge guy. I'm a big guy. Behind this desk, I'm a really big guy. And my kids are huge. And so when they were born, they came out big. And when you have a big child as a woman, things happen. And so we struggle a lot in that area. But we work through it. And I think if you want a man to be monogamous and be all these things that you want him to be, you need to be ready to service him. You need to be ready to ensure that you can maintain this man that you want, because you want him to be faithful. That's all I hear women screaming about is, all these cheaters. Well, don't give him a reason to look nowhere else. His legs need to be noodles every day. He needs to be stumbling out the house, because he need to be on shaky legs going to work, if you know what I mean. And I'm not saying over years things ain't gonna happen, because it's gonna happen. You're gonna get older. You're gonna have kids. Things are gonna drop off. But you cannot be in one of these marriages where you just don't have sex. Because and as counselors, as coaches, we see this a lot. This is not uncommon. It's very common. Go ahead. You had something?
No. Noodle legs got
Yeah, I mean, his leg need to be shaky. His toes need to be curled up at least once, twice a week.
I think you're good.
Yeah. Point number 3, ladies. If you really want to be married, you're gonna learn how to. It's a tough one.
Go ahead.
You gotta have to learn how to resolve conflict, because it's going to happen. It ain't a question. Any couple tells you we never argue, they lying. If any couple that tells you they never argue, send them to me, because they lying. I promise you they lying. They need to go to the altar. Because the truth of the matter is simply this: you live in a home with another person
Yeah.
from that grew up differently than you, or you could grew up in the same neighborhood. It don't matter. They have a different viewpoint, and those viewpoints are not always going to line up. You're going to have disagreements. And sis, like I said, this is for the ladies. Sis, if you can't have a disagreement without yelling, screaming, throwing stuff, cutting them off from sex, like we just talked about, then you're not ready to be married. Call a name. I bust the windows out your car.
Or
all
getting
that.
your friends and family members involved and just blowing this thing. Or worse yet, getting the kids involved. That's when it's low down dirty. Getting the kids involved. Making them pick sides. I hate that.
And it could be so subtle as this. A lot of young ladies are like, oh, I don't do that stuff. Can you bring a man peace, though? Because, see, this is the thing. We go out into this world every day and we slay dragons. We got to go deal with the crazy boss, the crazy person on our job, people in traffic, everything. And we know you do that, too, because I know some of y'all punching the air right now. We're going to get to the men, I promise you. I wrote a whole book about what men need to do, so I'm not that dude. It's right over my shoulder. Right over the camera. See that? Right over my shoulder here. I'll put a link to it down in the description box. But I wrote a whole book about what men need to do. So I don't want to hear that. I don't like women, and I love my sisters. I love women.
Hello.
Yeah, but I want, and this is not just for people of color. It's for everybody.
Yeah.
So I love women. I protect women. I do all those things. But there are some things a man needs, and one thing a man needs when he comes home is peace. He don't want to hear your mouth as soon as he walk in the door, sweetheart. He don't want to look. Just give him a few minutes. If he's sitting in the driveway for a few minutes before he come in the house, he's just decompressing. He don't love you. So these are the type of stuff that you want to think about before you get married. Can I bring a man peace?
Right.
Can I put myself on the back burner and be his peace?
Can I actually serve him?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can I actually think of even inventive ways of how can I bring joy to his life? What is one thing I can do to take something off his plate? Start thinking. That's a servant's mindset, and that has really helped our marriage out dramatically.
Yes. I don't have to, when I drive up my driveway, I don't have to worry about coming to the house and tiptoeing the house and checking, are you okay today? Yeah, tension. I don't have to worry about that. My wife is very astute at telling me how she feels, but she's also become very astute at knowing when to tell me certain things. And that's 21 years. So we're not saying, ladies, that you have to have all these things down pat before you even think about getting married. What we want to do is put this on your plate so you can think about, these are things I might need to work on. This is a checklist for you.
Yeah, it's an awareness piece.
Use this video as a checklist. Like, do I even know how to resolve conflict? Because my last 5 boyfriends, I punched them all in the face. Like, if you can't get into a disagreement with somebody, or somebody can't disagree with you without you wanting to get to the point where you want to get physical, or you want to throw something, or you want to scream, then you're not ready for marriage. Because I promise you, it's coming.
Or you're unable to stay on the topic. Like you may start out talking about one thing and then you branch off into different. Oh, well, I remember when you did this, and I remember when you did that. When we're talking about one thing, you didn't take out the trash, and you said you would.
Yeah.
And now you're talking about, well, I remember when you didn't pay that bill, the phone bill, and you said you going to the grocery store, and I do everything. You grab an air instead of being able to stay on topic. So we'll get more in detail in other videos about how to actually do it and what it looks like.
And I think this is probably going to be a 2-part video. So we'll break it down. But I really want to nail that point home, because in coaching, what I see a lot of times, I see it comes in, and a couple will come in and it's like her against him. He's doing this, he's doing, no, it's we. Every problem in that home is a we problem, guys. It doesn't matter. It's a we problem. So if you're not a person that doesn't like to accept accountability, and we'll talk about that in a minute, then you're probably not ready to be married.
Yep.
All right.
Let's go to the next one. We want to talk about realistic financial expectations. You want to start that one up too?
Yes. Ladies. I'm about to burst some of y'all bubble.
Oh no. Maybe tell them to breathe.
Y'all take a breath. Instagram is not real. The things you see on there, and most of them are staged, is not real. Ladies, the average white man in America makes $50,000 a year. The average black man in America makes $42,000 a year. These are verified. You can Department of Labor statistics. I'm not going to tell you something I don't have stats on. That's how I roll. You, ma'am, are not going to be flying internationally every other week. He ain't flying you out. Y'all can't be rolling up to the club in a Bentley. You know, he ain't going to buy you Birkin bags. All these things that y'all expect out of a man. And the whole 666 thing, 6-pack, 6 figures, and 6 inches downstairs. You may get 6 inches. Ain't a whole lot to ask for. But a 6-pack, have I ever? I don't think. When you met me, I was pretty fit, but I don't know if I had a 6-pack. I may have had a 3-pack, maybe 4-pack. I couldn't give you a whole 6-pack. But because I
loved you, baby.
And I certainly was not making 6 figures. Certainly
No,
not making 6 figures.
no.
Ladies, a man doesn't hit his financial stride till he's 45, from 45 to 55. So you want to date an older, if you're 20, you want to date an old man, go right ahead. Look, but that's a whole different ball game. You got to have realistic financial goals if you're looking for a mate.
Mm-hmm.
I would say this. I would say, because she married me when I was making $25,000 a year. That was it.
In the military.
Yes, $25,000 a year. That was it. The first 3 months of our marriage, what did we eat off of?
We had a cardboard box.
We had a cardboard box, but she was so gangster. She put a sheet on top of it and made it into like a little table, and that's what we ate our meals off of for 3 months until I can afford to buy us a table. Mm-hmm. She was willing to work with me. She was willing to build with me, and now she can have anything she wants because within reason. Because she worked with me, she built with me, and I can trust her explicitly with anything. So I would just encourage you ladies to have realistic financial goals.
Yes.
Like, if you make $50,000 and he make 45, does it really matter?
That's a good life.
That's a good life. That's $95,000 a year. That's a good life. You could take go ahead. You could take your little vacation once, twice a year, and be good. Go ahead.
But what it is, like you said, you're watching these TV shows where these relationships are highly toxic. You're watching the Love and this and the whatever of LA and the whatever of Atlanta and the whatever and the whatevers. I'm not even gonna get into specifics. There's so many shows because I don't watch them. There's so many of these shows that are not realistic, and you go, "Oh, I want that. I want to be able to have." The hair, the nails, the clothes, the cars, the house. You want it instantly. It's microwaved. I want it now. Instead of realizing that it's a growth process. It's something that's going to take time. And if you watch those shows, they don't look happy. None of them are happy.
And they don't look like that every day.
They don't. It's not realistic. And so they don't have authentic, loving relationships. It's toxic. It's nasty. I'm not even gonna say what the women act like because that's another show title, and you know which one I'm talking about.
Oh Lord, yeah.
But it's not real, and we fall for the lie, we fall for the hype, and we think that stuff is real, and it's not. So it's time for a reality check. It really, really is. That's not what you want. It's just not.
Yeah, you just think you want it. You don't really want it.
Yeah.
And the kind of guys that you guys are talking about, these highly competitive, highly successful men, a lot of those men are sought after by a lot of women. That's talked about a lot of women, and every day a woman gonna be coming after your man, and he may step away. Those men are not men of power, and men that have money are not known for their fidelity, ladies. They're not known to be the most loyal when it comes to that, because they got women literally coming at them every day to make it $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 a year. Those guys are not generally faithful. That's what it is. They say, hey, look at the life you live. I'm gonna do what I do. So you need to have realistic financial goals. Yeah. Realistic. Most men do not make close to 6 figures. That's a majority of men don't make close to 6 figures. They just don't.
They're good men.
They're good men. He might drive a trash truck, but he's a good man.
He'll treat you right. He won't go upside your head. He won't walk away. He will. That's who you get down the road with.
Yep.
It's not Mr. High Value who everybody wants. And then he's like, okay, here's the arrangement. You look pretty. You look pretty on my arm. Keep the house and the kids. I go do me. I might have me a little something on the side, but you get all this.
And I know some of y'all are like,
that's
it. That's the way it works.
So then you go, okay, that sounds great.
Yep.
I'll keep this together. I'll stay fit. I'll pop the kids out, and I'll make sure the house is good, even if I have me a little nanny or whatever. But that's the arrangement. So I don't know.
Yeah. And I know some of y'all are like, well, what if we gonna talk to the men? I'm gonna have a whole video for the men. Don't even worry about that. Like I said,
we gonna get them too.
Like I said, wrote a whole book about the men.
We'll
Trust
gather
me.
the men too.
We'll get that. Number 5, probably one of the most important points that you can have.
Yeah.
Can you handle a masculine leader? Like we said, I see on this platform a lot of women talking about they want a man that they can lead them. They want a man that can lead them. They want this great leader, this guy who has the answers to every question and all those things like that. But can you follow his lead? Can you follow leadership?
Yeah.
There's something you want to think about if you want to get married. Can I follow masculine leadership? Because here's the problem. A lot of young ladies didn't grow up with a father. If they did have one, he wasn't really present. He wasn't that great. So especially if you're coming from our community, you share our reflection. There's a lot of young ladies that didn't grow up with a father. So you don't really know what it's like to live with a man. Mm-hmm. You don't really know what it's like to deal with a man who has his stuff together. You used to dealing with dudes that either aren't present and don't have their stuff together. Let me tell you something. Thorough brothers don't play smart mouse. They don't play all that. Thorough brothers don't deal with that.
What do you mean by thorough brother?
Thorough brother. I mean a brother that has himself together, a man that has a plan, a man that knows what he wants, a man that is trying to move forward in life. He is not a man to be trifled with. He is not going to put up with the yakety yak.
Yeah,
he is not going to put up with you grabbing air and jumping up in his face. If you want a thorough man that can lead you, understand male leadership, we don't put up with disrespect.
Yeah, there's standards.
There's a standard, and if you're not ready to fall in line and be with that man, I'm not talking about some guy that's cheating on you, hitting you, disrespect. I'm talking about a thorough. When I say thorough, I mean thorough, and I know plenty of them out there. They may not look like the best, they may not look like they may not look like what's my man Idris Elba, but they good dudes. They may have a little extra around the waist, but they good dudes and they're thorough. So if you want a man that can lead you, because I hear that term a lot, then you need to be somebody that can be led. You need to learn how to be a follower. Because the truth of the matter is simply this: that type of guy is not going to he's not going to tolerate any disrespect from you. It's not going to happen. It won't mean you won't have a voice. Yeah. It won't mean when you're going to be mistreated. But he is not going to sit there and let you berate him. Won't. So if you have a habit of doing that, and you have a habit of trying to jump in front of and trying to run out and do something, then you're not ready to be married. Something you got to work on.
Absolutely. And I hate to say this, I hope you brace yourself. Take your breath in, blow it out. You have to be able to submit to his leadership.
You just said a cuss word on YouTube.
Excuse me.
You just cursed on YouTube.
Yeah. This video definitely... if we were in the status of being monetized.
We ain't. Don't worry about it.
So I can say it. For real, you got to learn how to submit. You really, really do, which is to be able to follow his leadership. Like you said, it doesn't mean you don't have a voice, doesn't mean you don't have a viewpoint. It doesn't mean that you're not valued, but it does mean that you are falling in line with the vision that he has set for your family. And it's okay if he doesn't quite have clear vision. That's between him and God.
So if you guys want this masculine leader, this man that can lead you, you're going to have to figure out how that works for you. Can you handle it? And what you need to do, and I know it's not easy, ladies, you got to find you an older woman that's been married for a while, i.e. someone like my wife that can help you and vet you to be married at some point. Like, am I ready? And I don't even know if you're ever ready, but I know when you're not. I can tell you that.